Hello, this is Teslon, and I am in Cliff, North Spawn, in my VK2801 for a Lighthouse tutorial on scout rules, defending cap. No matter how well you play or how well your team plays, there are going to be battles where sometimes you have to defend your cap in order to pull out a victory. Now, if there's only one enemy tank capping, you don't really have very many choices to make. You shoot that one tank and either drive them off cap or kill them. But when multiple enemy tanks are capping, your job becomes a little bit more difficult. Because if you shoot the same enemy capper over and over and over, the other enemy tanks that are capping are going to reach 100 points and secure a victory. So you need a system to help you decide which tank to shoot next. And I've developed 3 rules for defending cap that help guide you through that process. It's so effective that you can, by yourself, take on at least 4. I've never run the math on 5, but I know you can do it with 4 enemy tanks. By following this system, you by yourself can prevent 4 enemy tanks from completing cap indefinitely, until you die or run out of bullets, or until they all die. So here's the rules for defending cap against multiple targets. Rule number 1. Shoot the tank who has been there the longest first, or shoot the tank who has gone the longest without being shot next. If you don't know who that is, then you go to rule number 2. If you can kill an invader quickly, do it. As long as shooting that particular tank doesn't let the other tanks complete cap. Rule number 3. Rotate targets every shot if rule number 1 and 2 don't apply. Like I said, if you shoot the same guy multiple times, the other tanks will complete cap while you're fixated on that one target. So if rule 1 and 2 don't apply, then you rotate your target every single shot. You have to follow that priority every time you take a shot on cap. What's about to unfold here, that's going to let me demonstrate these rules to you. The enemy team has broken through the western flank, and I assume is headed toward cap right now. Our other VK2801 was up here on the Lighthouse Hill with me, and he saw them break through at the same time as I did, and he started going down the hill right away. So I'm assuming he's headed over here. From this balcony he can spot cap for everybody else. I know I have a while, at least a little bit, to wait until I'm going to be able to see the tanks approach cap. I know that if he's spotting, I can see them from up on top of the hill. So instead of just wasting time waiting, I'm going to go pop the IS a couple times until the cappers become visible. And here they go. They have 2 tanks on cap. I shoot, back up, I'm watching the 2801. Okay, I have time for 1 more shot. Then I'll have to go back there and start shooting into cap area. Take my shot, I back up, and as I back up, I can see 4 enemy tanks. 3 of them are on cap. So I go immediately into my decision-making process. Rule number 1. Shoot the tank who has been there the longest first, or shoot the tank who has gone the longest without being shot next. I don't know which one that is. There's a medium and 2 TDs on cap. I don't know who got there first. So I can't use rule number 1. I move on to rule number 2. If I can kill an invader quickly, do it. I can shoot somebody, in this case the 3001 is a potential 1-shot kill. And I can do it and still have time left to shoot the next tank. It really doesn't matter because I have to pick one of them right now. So I'm going to shoot the 3001 first, and if I can get lucky and get a big hit on him, I've just reduced cap down to 2 cappers, which makes it a lot easier to defend. So I never make it to rule number 3. Rule number 2 applies, so I'm going to shoot the 3001. Here we go.
Critical hit.
At the time I hit him, they were at 73% of cap. Now this is going to knock it down a little bit, but I've taken my shot. It's time for my next shot. So while I'm reloading, I'm running through my priorities again. Rule number 1, shoot the tank who's been there the longest first, or shoot the tank who's gone the longest without being shot next. Between the two TDs, I still don't know which one of them got there first, so I can't use this rule. I move on to number 2. If I can kill an invader quickly, do it. Now in this case, I could shoot the 3001 again, but he disappeared. I don't want to waste the time on him. I can't kill either of these two TDs in one shot, so I'm moving on to rule number 3. Rotate targets every shot. Doesn't matter which one I pick, I have to pick one of them, and then the shot after that, I'll shoot the other one. So here we go. They blink out on me. 2801's moving back up to spot him again. And I'll pick the 152. They're up to 74% cap. Shot's about to land.
Critical hit.
Bam, they get knocked down to 42. Now I go back into my decision-making process again. I do this every single shot. Shoot the tank who's been there the longest first. Shoot the tank who's gone the longest without being shot next. In this case, this rule applies. The 122.44 has gone the longest without being shot. And it's obvious now, because he's up to 46 points by himself, that he was also the first there. So he is my priority. I don't need to go to rule number 2 or 3. I have a bingo on rule number 1. The 122.44 gets my next round. I missed that shot, so I just stay focused on him. And I take my next shot and shoot him. Back up to 67%. That knocks him all the way down to 14%. Now I go back to rule number 1 again. Shoot the tank who's been there the longest first. Shoot the tank who's gone the longest without being shot next. Once again, this rule applies because the 152 has now been on cap longer than anybody else without being shot. So he is my target. 122.44 just moved off cap. So now I'm down to 1 cap where I don't need to use the rules. I want to pick on that 152. And as you can see, we have 3 different heavies moving over to help out. A 4th heavy's coming over to move out to help out. And so the emergency situation has been calmed. We're in a good position now. We have the upper hand in the fight. The crisis is over. And I've taken a near loss and turned it into an almost certain victory just by using my rules for defending cap. I want to shoot the 122 if I can. I know the 152's over there by himself. I'm not worried about it. It's going to take him 90 seconds to complete cap. We have our own TD moving on the cap, so we're turning into a cap race. I'm going to move over because the 2801 just died, so I'm going to move over and I don't have to spot this 152 by myself. I'm going to fix the tracks on my own with my repair kit because I don't want to waste too much time since they're ahead of us in the cap race. And if one of those other TDs moves back on cap, it could be a problem, so it doesn't look like they're going to, but I don't like taking chances like that. Still got plenty of time. I'm going to see if I can go up this hill. I'm determined to find a way to get up this hill, even though I know I can't. Ah. 152 just got shot again, so this victory is just a matter of cleaning up these last 2 tanks. I'll shoot the 152 since he is capping. And he's dead now. It's just the 122.44 left, so I'll pull up here and shoot into his flank a couple times and take him out.
Critical hit. That was close. Critical hit.
And here we go. Next shot kills him.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
And I've just taken, by using the 3 rules of defending cap, I've taken a near loss and turned it into what ended up being an easy win. The rules, once again, it's for when you're fighting multiple cappers. Rule number 1, shoot the tank who's been there the longest first, or shoot the tank who's gone the longest without being shot next. Your goal is to reduce the enemy cap points by as much as possible. And by shooting the tank who's stayed on cap the longest without being hit, you are reducing the overall team cap pool by the most possible with your next shot. That buys you the most possible team for your teammates to react and to help you out. If you don't know who's been there the longest or who's gone the longest without being shot, you go to rule number 2. If you can kill an invader quickly, do it, as long as shooting that tank doesn't let somebody else complete cap. We're dealing with a one-shot kill here. If you can kill a tank the next time, you shoot them and eliminate them, because by reducing an invader, you make it easier for you to defend cap the rest of the way. If neither of the first 2 rules apply, then rotate targets every shot. By rotating targets, like I said, you can very easily hold 4 invaders off indefinitely until your teammates finally react, or you kill some of them, or you die yourself. You just saw it in action. Every single time you take a shot, you run through that checklist very quickly. It doesn't take long. You can do it while you're reloading, and that way you maximize the effectiveness of your base defense. You buy the most possible time for your team to react, and like you saw here, if you're lucky and they do react, you end up taking a crisis situation and turning it into a fairly easy win. From Cliff, using the rules of cap defense and turning a crisis into an easy win and picking up a defender along the way. Happy hunting.